I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. We've got a spectacular weekend of games to break down. That's right, I said spectacular weekend of games to break down, so let's get right down to business. Now, it's fitting that the U.S. celebrated Thanksgiving on Thursday because we've got a football feast this weekend. We got the Vanier Cup. We got the Grey Cup. We got the Iron Bowl. Auburn, Alabama, man. It doesn't get much more heated than that. It's rivalry weekend. We got Michigan and Ohio State. And, oh, yeah, we've got that league known as the National Football League. Let's start with the Vanier Cup. The Laval Rouge et Or have been the most dominant Canadian university program for a long time right now. Glenn Constantine's gunning for a 6th national championship, and you know what? I think he's going to get it. The Laval Rouge et Or, a lot like pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. You know, every year it's the same thing. We hear about how, this Ortiz guy, this guy could really beat him. Oh, watch out, Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, yeah, watch out, Ricky Hatton. And people are talking a lot about McMaster. McMaster have been a solid football team this year, but don't forget, these two teams played a exhibition preseason game before the season started, and Laval won 24-10 in a hurricane. Now, we got picture-perfect conditions in the new BC Place where the Grey Cup is being played. We'll get to that in a moment's time. I think Laval will put some points up on the board. I think Quinlan will score for the Marauders, but when it's all said and done, give me the Laval Rouge et Or. And you know what? Props to the lines makers at SIA for giving us the Vanier Cup to lay it down on, as I am a big football fan. Therefore, I'm going to bet on the Vanier Cup. Now, the Vanier Cup won't be the only thing I'll be betting on, and I'll also take the over in the Vanier Cup as well. Now, as long as we're talking about BC Place, let's talk about the Grey Cup. Now, my Montreal Alouettes did not make it this year, and I could kind of sense that there was something wrong with the Alouettes this year, and you could kind of sense that it was going to be a crazy year in the Canadian Football League. As you know, what do you think the C stands for in the CFL? Now, the BC Lions started off the season. It was a disaster. They were playing outdoors at Empire. They couldn't get it done. The stadium was being renovated, and as soon as they opened up the new stadium, everything changed. The BC Lions have won 11 of their last 12 football games. Meanwhile, life is good in Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Jets are back and actually winning hockey games. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are opening up a new stadium next year. And incidentally, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time. The Bombers haven't won a Grey Cup since 1990. All right? And ironically enough, they won in BC in the stadium that they're going to be playing in on Sunday. With that being stated, BC are just too hot right now, man. Travis Lulay is just in too much of a zone. They're too complete. They're getting it done on special teams. Where's this? Where did McCallum get this from? Did McCallum take some sort of super drug or something like that? Come on, McCallum, you could admit it because it's the CFL. Nothing will happen to you anyways. It's unbelievable. Special teams play has been amazing for the BC Lions. Their defense is kicking ass. Their offense is tearing it apart. There's nothing not to like about the BC Lions on a Sunday. The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that I'm always wrong when it comes to BC Lion football games. So I am a little bit apprehensive. I think it's a good teaser spot here. Chris Garrett has really been tearing it apart for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I don't like Winnipeg's offense to be able to keep up with BC. I think the number is razor sharp, sharp as a rusty nail in the attic. So I think a teaser is a good play here. The BC Lions to the over. Now, speaking of the overs, I'm going to be tearing it apart with the overs. Now, you know what? Once bitten, twice shy and all that. And listen, you're not going to be right all the time. And like they said on The Simpsons, when you're right 51% of the time, you're going to be wrong 49% of the time. But I think there's going to be some points scored in the Civil War. We got Oregon and Oregon State. Now, the Oregon Ducks can score 50 points on their own, and they probably will. Oregon's defense is pretty soft. You know what? The Beavers will score some points. I like that game to go over the number. Now, if I told you that Rick Neuheisel was getting ready to potentially play in a Pac-12 championship game, you know what? You say, what you talking about, Willis? But I'm telling you that Rick Neuheisel, if the UCLA Bruins beat USC, they're playing in a Pac-12 championship game. Really, if I would have told you this a month ago, you would have said that Conrad Murray has a better chance of winning Physician of the Year. Rick Neuheisel was preparing his resume. He was going to put his house up for sale. He was going to get fired. Here's UCLA. If they're able to beat USC, which they probably won't, and we made a lot of money on the USC Trojans this year, But isn't this a different spot right now? We took USC plus the points against the Ducks and cashed the ticket. We told you the game was going to go over the number, and it did. We took the USC Trojans against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We took Notre Dame against Cal on Thursday night on the road. we've cashed a lot of tickets this year with the USC Trojans, but they're always short numbers or they were getting points. Lane Kiffin doesn't have a good track record of laying double-digit points. You got UCLA coming in here. Something tells me that UCLA hangs around in this football game. I also think it goes over the number, but I should note that, hey, I thought the Detroit Lions were going to hang around with the Green Bay Packers. We're back to that when you're right 51% of the time, right? You're going to be wrong 49% of the time. All right, let's wrap up the college football talk with Ohio State and Michigan. Wow, the Michigan Wolverines haven't beaten Ohio State since 2003, and the stakes have never been higher as the Michigan Wolverines, they need to beat Ohio State. Denard Robinson needs a real signature win against the Ohio State Buckeyes. As good as Coach Hoke has been for Michigan, they lost to Michigan State this year. They're not playing in the Big Ten championship game. This is a must-win situation for the Michigan Wolverines. There's a lot of controversy right now as far as Urban Meyer taking over in Columbus is concerned. I think Michigan's going to get it done. I think Michigan is going to cover the number as well. Brady Hoke is 5-1 against the number in Ann Arbor this year. Make it 6-1. Michigan gets it done. Ohio State will not be able to keep up with Michigan's offense. Michigan's defense will shut down Ohio State. And when I say the stakes have never been higher, Michigan wins this football game, they're probably playing in a Sugar Bowl. We're talking about like $16 million. That's, you think the World Series of Poker stakes are high. This is bigger. Michigan beats Ohio State. They're probably going to end up in a BCS bowl game. Stakes are huge. Now, stakes are also huge for Matt Leinart, former USC Trojan quarterback, big bust in Arizona. Matt Leinart has an opportunity to salvage his reputation and make or break the Houston Texans season. Houston Texans, if not now, when? If not now, when? The Tennessee Titans overachieved early in the season. They're falling apart. We know about the Colts. We know the Jaguars are rebuilding. This is the Texans' year to get it done. And they can do some real damage in the playoffs, but Schaub is out. Leinart is in. They have the benefit of the bye week. Had an extra week to prepare. They also have the benefit of playing the offensively incompetent Jacksonville Jaguars. This game should stay under the number. Look for Houston to be pretty conservative, and the Jacksonville Jaguars 9-1 to the under this year. I think that game does go over the number. And we got the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints on Monday night. Intriguing matchup, isn't it? And the New York Giants, a lot like the USC Trojans, the Giants are all about spots. I didn't like the Giants laying the points against the Philadelphia Eagles. I do like the Giants getting points. They're going to be hard-pressed to keep up with the Saints, but you just get that feeling that a Manning playing in Louisiana, New Orleans, you get the feeling the Giants are going to hang around with the Dallas Cowboys winning every week. Not pretty, but with the Dallas Cowboys winning every week, this is a must-win situation for the New York Giants, and even if they don't win, I think they're going to make a real game of it. I'm looking forward to the Monday Nighter. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. May the winners be yours.